As we investigated on the transhuman code is the concept of exponential versus linear growth. We humans, we are linear creatures. We go one step after the other. We take 100 steps to go from 0 to 100. And that's why we are not able, in many cases, to predict the future, because our linear thinking makes us evolve step by step. In computer science, the linear concept, linear process, which is a mathematical process, it's been enhanced by a new dimension where we call the exponential concept. Means that for a machine, 0 to 100 is not 0, 1, 2, and 100. It's actually 100 times 100 and 100 times 100, 100. So it's an exponential growth. So that means that they are able to evolve much faster than humans are able to evolve. So that brings us in a situation where machines are going to be able to do things faster and better, and will be able to anticipate in a total different way than we have been doing until now. The danger is obviously that humans are not going to be anymore in control of their destiny. That control will be shifted to the machines. The exponential growth also, it's reflected in our day-to-day work. For instance, if we take our mobile phone and we compare how exponentially this mobile phone has evolved in the last 30 years, when computers started to become portable, we'll see that a computer in 30 years ago needed something like millions of dollars to be manufactured and have maybe 1 million times less power than a PC or a mobile phone that you might have in your pocket. So that means that the exponential process of the technology has allowed us that to exponentially pay less for something that exponentially is more powerful than the original device. And this is only the beginning. A mobile phone now, it's a tool that it still has a certain size. Imagine in 20 years' time, when we will be able to make the same power than the current mobile phones, but in an invisible cellular size device that will be injected in our bodies and will be traveling in our bodies, analyzing our biological data, transferring that data to supercomputers, and enhancing our human capabilities, like increasing our intellect capability, increasing our biological envelope, and allow us to become basically immortals. So the old part of our brain are telling us, no, this is not going to happen. And this is the only reason they are telling us is because we think linear. So I have been seeing that already, position of all generations, or this is nothing new for me. It's actually preventing us to see the future in an exponential way. So the dilemma is how, while we let this exponential growth and exponential revolution to affect our lives, how can you ensure that we as a humans, we are not going to lose control? So it's actually a big challenge, because everything is becoming exponential now. Even our biological envelope. One of the problem we have as a human is our biology, or skin, or flesh, or organic composition cannot exponentially evolve. It needs many centuries or millennia of DNA reprogrammation and restructuring in order to us to solve problems over generations after generations. So we cannot biologically grow exponentially in the same way that machines will go. So how can we, knowing that everything is going to become technology, like biology is becoming biotechnology, the combination between our biological data and the technology capability to analyze that data in an exponential way, how can we ensure that this process is still under our control? So the thinking of the transhuman code is that we as a human, we are still, and despite all the things I just mentioned now, we are still the most perfected machine. Our body is an amazing technology. The way that we are able to fight sickness, the way when we get attacked by a virus, this attack is being decentralized, defending in our body, and cells are communicating between themselves and giving us diagnostic and signs that we are being attacked. We are starting to sweating or to feel fever or to feel weak. And those are only symptoms that something is going wrong in your body. Imagine if we take that biological information and model and we use, for instance, on defending cyber attack on smart cities. Imagine that cells can be compared to microprocessors, and when you attack a connected car, that connected car will defend the attack and send the information to the other cars without the need to go into a centralized database, which is currently what happened, and be able peer-to-peer to decentralize information the same way the body does already. So we are still the reference for a lot of the technology innovation. And this is what this book is trying to defend, is that the most perfected technology creation so far is the human being. So if we solve the issue on how we, as being for the time being the most perfected creature and technology, how can we convert ourselves into an exponential creature as well, so we can evolve exponentially, solving maybe all the problems that we are not able to solve in a linear way without compromising our human nature. And for that is putting the man, putting the person, putting the human at the center of gravity. It means that whatever innovation we're going to develop, whatever artificial intelligence or biotechnology or biochemics or engineering or semiconductors or microchips or blockchain, all that technology needs to be developed thinking on how it can empower the human person and how can unleash the potential of the human person, which is not being unleashed yet. We believe that humans have reached, and this is some people trying us to believe that humans, we have reached a limit on where we cannot grow any farther, and therefore we need to circumvent or data or person to the machine. So the extremist views is that we will not need our bodies anymore because our bodies get old and we're going to die. So let's take our brains and put our brains in machines, and those machines will be able to make us eternal because the neuroactivity of our brains will continue living outside our human body. Obviously, that is a very negative way to see this. It will basically destroy humanity. We will then become just an object of control of machines, and that view has absolutely no future in a human civilization. But what it has future is that we will enhance and we will create capabilities on the biological structure of the human body with technology that allow us to increase our performances. We will live longer, we will be more healthy because we will be able to get information about what is good to our body. Medicine will become biological, adapted to us, studying our DNA, and rather of treating us as a human being and all the medicine is equal for everybody, we will study the uniqueness of each person and adapt that medicine to our uniqueness and basically create a situation where rather of solving a big sickness like cancer or like AIDS, we will be solving the causes of those sickness adapted to the biological identity that each person has. So this molecularization of the human component by understanding what a human is and adapting technology to enhance each of those components will allow us to go exponentially and reap the benefit of the technology that we have for first time in history available to us, as technology is converging in a way that has never converged before, and this is a unique time to basically convert the human in what we call a transhuman, the evolution from where we are to where we're going to be, and develop a code, an operating system for the human, which is going to be a combination of our biological operating system with a technology informatics operating system blended for the benefit of the human being. So this is the subject of the book, and the book also studies how that combination will affect everything else. How can cities will be adapted to that type of human person of the future, how education will need to be deployed, how health, as I just mentioned now, will need to be provided, how communication will need to be structured so the emotions of humans are respected, so humans are still in need of feel love, of being able to express their emotion, being able to cry, to love, to pray, things that machines will never be able to do because they do not have the uniqueness, biologic references that a human has and constitution that a human is. So that's the positive story of the transhuman code and how, with the help of technology, putting the human at the center of gravity, we can make sure that humans will prevail and will bring the human to the next fourth industrial revolution generation.